Welcome. We're so happy to see everybody here on whether you're here on the live or whether you're here on the replay. We're very happy to see you. I'm 𝗵𝗵𝘁, and I'm the founder of Living Well Connections. And today, Elania Cruz and I are going to be speaking, talking together. I want to introduce you to her because she's one of our wonderful practitioners, and she can really do an awful lot to help us live that healthy life and to help us live a life we love, really, is what's the important thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, Aliana is a coach for professionals. You can tell us a little bit more about what you do right now, just a little tiny bit so we know, but one of the things that attracted me to her is, well, first of all, I have loved seeing your posts on Facebook. I love those. But what I love what you do is that you specialize, you frequently work with people who are introverts. And you're a leadership coach. So what you like to do, what Ileana likes to do is work with practitioners, professionals, and help guide them through ways to improve their lives and improves the way they do their business.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Robin. I'm so happy to be having this conversation with you. You are this woman of peace and health, and I love how you just like to spread that message all around.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things to do.
That is awesome. Yes.
Well, I would love to know a little bit more of your story. What I love to know is why someone is doing what they're doing. You know, what was the spark that got you say, I think I can help in this way? Can you tell us a little bit about what sparked your interest in the coaching that you do?
Sure. Well, I was in corporate before becoming a coach. I worked for probably 20 years all over and 13 only just on the shipping industry. And I was very lucky and grateful and able to move high up in my company. I started in Mexico City, and then I got transferred to Miami, moved to Germany. I travel all over the world. So I am very, very thankful for my life in corporate. But there was one thing that was common, not just in my life, but in my office, all around me, people from other departments. There is this prevailing feeling of, I hate Mondays and thank God it's Friday. And it's horrible to live like that because it's really 5 days out of your week, you are feeling miserable. And I see it on jokes and memes from my friends. And it's just, I don't want to go to work, where you spent most of your waking hours. It is just not right.
That countdown to Friday.
A countdown to Friday, yes. And then full Sunday, you're miserable, thinking that Monday is coming. No. Plus, I've had every type of bosses, and I'm sure I have been every type of boss for my people. And when you feel miserable at the office, not just because you have to work and you don't like what you do, but when there's a person above you making you feel miserable, you go back home and you spread that misery. You are just in the right, you're not in the right mood to be happy or loving. So that is like the mild part of it. You're in a bad mood, you don't interact, or you take it out on your children, your spouse, all the comments that they say.
Mean to, right? Even if you don't mean to. I know that you can just have a certain expression on your face. Or children feel energy. I mean, they feel that if you come home and you're frustrated, and automatically they think you're frustrated with them.
Exactly. And sometimes even for yourself, it's very difficult just to switch and now be nice and be a good mom and a good dad. However, when you're in an environment that makes you grow and where you feel happy and you feel productive, you come home and you are your true self, your happy self, and your children also start copying that, right? Because kids do not do what we tell them to do. They do what they see us do.
Exactly.
So that was it. That was what, when I left my corporate life, like I want to do something about this. I want to help all those people that hate to go to work. And I want to help the managers to promote this feeling of being happy where you are, regardless of where it is.
Now, do you ever work with, people who have their own business? Because when you have your own business, and so many of us actually these days have their own business, and you're working in the house with the children or with the extra family, and there's a less of a delineation of when the workday ends. I know that can be challenging sometimes.
It is. You're absolutely right. And between the pandemic and being a solopreneur, there are absolutely no boundaries in your office. And most people had to set up their office in bedrooms, in living rooms, there are no lines there. And there's also, when you are working on your own business, you are a one-man show, right? You do sales, you do marketing, you do legal, you do accounting, you do the operational side. And that is where we start feeling our flaws or our interpretations of what we're missing get amplified. If when you were growing up, you thought you were bad at math and you were not good at numbers, whenever it gets time to count all your invoices and make your books, it's like, no, I cannot do this. And this an internal block of not being able to do what you have to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there are additional challenges with being your own enterprise.
Right. And not an awful lot of people. And the other thing is, a lot of people who are working in wellness, they're giving so much of themselves to others. It is difficult to break away from that. So what kind of things do you suggest for people? And especially, because this is what attracts me a lot, because I am definitely an introvert, even though I think I could call it as an introvert acting as an extrovert.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean by that? It's
Absolutely.
like, when people see me, they go like, no, there's no way you're an introvert, Robin. I said, but I am, because I need to draw my energy with solitude and quiet times. So what do you talk when you're talking with someone? Because I know on your LinkedIn page, you really talk about you often do work with introverts. You help. What are ways you can help those of us who are introverts and who also may be, really, have a lot of client interaction when they're really being supportive of the clients? How are some ways? What is a tip or hint so you can think about that you can share for us?
You are right. I specialize on introverts because I am also an introvert. And I have also been told like, no, you're not. Like, yes, I am. So I would say the first thing is realize that being an introvert is not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. It is seen, popularly speaking, we live in a world that praises the extroverted. And we think that if you're going to be good and if you have to interact with people and if you have to sell your own business, you have to be an extrovert. But that is not true. That is the same as thinking that to be beautiful, you can only be blonde, thin, and young. No, that is not true either. I mean, I'm not saying that those people are not beautiful, just like extroverts are also successful, but you can be it. Now, what you can do is use your strengths. And that is something that I will never, ever, ever get tired of saying. We normally focus on what is wrong with us. And I have to fix this. I have to work on everything that I'm doing wrong so that I can be successful. But actually, the opposite approach is the best one. If you spend all your energy working on all your flaws, you might improve this much. And you're going to spend all your energy and all your focus is on what is wrong with you. If we shift to what is good with me, what do I already do well that I can do even better? First of all, you're focusing on what is right with you, what is amazing about you. So there is a mind shift right there. then you spend less energy because you're already enjoying the things that you do well, and your growth is exponential. You really can change your life without having to change your personality or who you are.
I love that. I love that. Work on the strengths. That's something I think we all need to learn about ourselves, whether we're introverted or not. You know, work on that, building that. We can always delegate.
Yes.
If you're not good at bookkeeping, hire a bookkeeper.
Right. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That is a process that I do with solopreneurs, is discover your area of genius. What can you do amazingly well, and what can you leave to other people? And there are so many other solopreneurs. There are accountants, there are virtual assistants, there are even marketing people. Like, you can always hire somebody for the things you do not do well and focus on what you do really, really, really makes you shine, makes you share to the world. Yes.
So I have a specific question for you. And even though now, you know, things are opening up. So we've had like the introverted heaven with the pandemic. I hate to say that, but it's, you know, partly, I mean, not that I advocate having a pandemic, but things are opening up, and person-to-person meetings and events and parties and gatherings are happening again, are starting to happen again. And so when someone is an introvert, do you have any suggestions for, you know, running a business, dealing with clients, but then you want to market, so you want to go out and network, and there's lots of face-to-face, and not necessarily one-to-ones, but group networking events that you feel to go to. What is your answer for that?
Well, first of all, this is not new for us. You're right. We enjoyed introversion heaven for a couple of years, but now going back to the outside world is not new. It's somewhere where we were before, so it's not as shocking as it was going into the pandemic for the extroverts. So right there, we have an advantage.
Right.
The second one is, and it's precisely using your strengths and your motivation. Why do you want to connect with people? And I have a client who is an introvert, but one of her strengths is to be a relator. That means she's not into small talk and superficial conversations. She likes to get to know people deeply. So even at a networking event where you can have 50 people in one room, you don't have to talk to all 50 of them. You can concentrate on one or two people that you really like to get to know and establish deeper conversations and actually get a connection from there. Yeah. It can be a friend for life. It can be a business partner. It can just be just a person that you would love to meet.
Right.
So there are other reasons for connecting with people, not necessarily having to talk to everybody. And like you and I have talked in the past, we need our spaces. Introverts, we recharge by ourselves. So allow yourself during this time, make specific spaces for you where you feel comfortable, whatever it is. It can be a massage, it can be reading a book, it can be just sitting down in silence, meditating. But know that you need to have this space so that you can come back to the outer world again, feeling like yourself and not like, I dread this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we do need to learn how we can do that self-care and renew ourselves.
Yes.
And that it's okay.
It is okay. No, and you hear on airplanes, you put the mask on yourself first. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of others.
This has been such a wonderful conversation, and I have so many more questions, but I think we better tie it up. Let's continue this on another time.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Robin, for the opportunity to be with you and talk a little bit about how to take care of ourselves and our strengths. And I would love to talk to you very soon.
Love to. Take care. And anyone here listening in Living Well Connections, you know how much I love you. and know what a wonderful supportive group this is. If you're listening to this on the replay and you don't know anything about Living Well Connections, I founded a group of very supportive, it started with wellness practitioners, very supportive people, and open it up to anyone interested in wellness topics. So if you'd like to join us, I'd love for you to just reach out to me at meetrobin.me, and we'll have a conversation and find out what interests you and what you'd like to do. And Ileana, how can people reach you?
If you want to have a conversation, you can find me at www.crumont, that is CRUMONT.me.
And I will post these links right underneath the replay video, so you'll have
that.
them.
Is fantastic. Thank you very much, Robin.
Take care and have a wonderful day.
Bye.